Yeah. Yeah. The reason that we actually put it in writing is so that we can be assured it's crystal clear and that we can come back to it if necessary. So that would be our recommendation.
Right. Well, I can see how, I know how people forget things.
Yes. Conveniently. Okay. And here are some of those expectations within each role. What I expect from you as a listing specialist. And these are things that you probably would sign off on. What you can expect of me as the team leader. So I expect this from you. You can expect this from me. It's win-win, right? There's one on here that you might struggle with. Share office profits with you, or in this case, team profits with you. That's an individual call. Some people structure their businesses that way. There's some profit incentive where, for example, you take 10% of the profits of your business or 20% and then allocate them by percentage to different team members. Listing buyer specialist, will get a higher percentage than the runner, for example. But if the team profits, everybody shares in it.
It's like a bonus.
It is a bonus. That's right. Performance of the whole team. That's right. Keeps everybody focused on the bottom line. Okay, staff development calendar. Because again, we're not recommending that you hire and abdicate the position, as we went into great detail in this last week. You're going to stay engaged. You still own that position until they can perform at the level that you can. And that can take 30 days, 60 days, a process. Okay? But you show them, for example, for an administrative assistant, we're committed to your development. We're not just going to throw you to the wolves. So look, on our calendar, we're going to train you on Monday from 8 to 8:30 on the phones. Phone systems from 8:30 to 9:30. Greeting guests from 9:45 to 10. I mean, you have a little development plan mapped out for them. A 3-month training calendar is recommended, with the first session revolving around priority 1, the priority 1 for the position, which for an administrative assistant is answering the phones, and that's why it's addressed first. Okay? You should also have assembled a step-by-step procedures manual for the position. Think of this as an owner's manual for the position. This powerful line here. If you don't have one, simply have the trainee create it as they are being trained. Okay? You're showing them how you want it done. They are taking notes. They're going to put those notes into an electronic checklist that you all agree on. This is the owner's manual for the position. Okay? Compensation models. There's only one rule when it comes to compensation, and that's win-win. If you want people with you long-term, in other words, having this person on your team has to be a financial win for you. Has to increase your bottom line, but it also has to be a win for them. It has to satisfy their financial aspirations. Okay, so there's so many different ways to do that. And you'll just want to be specific to the individual that you're hiring. Straight salary might be appropriate, particularly if they have a working spouse with a full benefit plan and they just want to maximize their income. Salary plus profit sharing, as we just touched upon. Salary plus performance bonuses. Hey, you take 20 listings this year, I'm going to throw in an extra X, okay? If you process, 5 files this week, X will be the bonus. Straight commission, which could be for listing or buyer specialists, or draw plus commission, which I wouldn't recommend that except for an exceptional candidate who had a cash flow issue. And it would be very time-based. We're going to do this for a 3-month period to get you ramped up. By then you'll have closings and we'll transition. Okay? Other benefits could include, you can actually do this even as an agent team leader, 401k with matching, a match from you as the team leader, health insurance, disability insurance, continuing education, gym memberships, vacation time, personal days off. Okay? That sounds really expensive, but again, you've allocated a certain dollars to the position. You can allocate those within the position. I'm going to give it all in salary. I'm going to peel off part and provide some retirement benefit or gym membership. And to different people, they will place different values on these things. So basically, all we're saying is do what it takes. When you find talent, do what it takes within your compensation guidelines to make it work for them. Team building, family picnics, movie nights, holiday parties, goal-setting retreats. Make it truly a team. Not just you dictating job responsibilities and performance standards, but hey, we're really in this together. And we're going to demonstrate that, by the way, in interview 3, which is coming up. All right? So at the end of interview 2, okay, if the candidate shows no promise, I really appreciate you meeting with me today. In fairness to the other candidates, I'd like to meet with them before deciding which 2 will move on. Because at interview 2, we only have 3 candidates. Okay? If they're a good fit, or they show promise, I really appreciate you meeting with me. I definitely feel we have the makings of a win-win relationship. You're kind of excited at this point. There's one more thing I'd like you to do before I make a final decision. I'd like to invite you and your family, spouse and children, to dinner this week so we can talk in less formal surroundings. That, by the way, is interview 3. It's going to be out of the office. It's not going to be about business, but you're going to take them out to dinner. And you're going to bring your family as well. So this is highly, highly personal. Okay? So here it is. We're all the way down to step 11, dinner with family. The last step before making a final decision is to invite each of the remaining candidates along with their spouse and kids to dinner. We're going to find out what they're really like. Yeah, because some people can put on a good face, and they're good people in a job interview situation, but you see them with their spouse and children, and you'll see a whole different side of them. That could set up a lot of red flags, okay? So going to dinner gives you an opportunity to meet the family, gauge the candidate's behavior in a social setting. Very important, allows you to assess whether the candidate resides in a supportive and stable home environment, because she might be the greatest person in the world, but she's married to a deadbeat, who's going to take their money, steal the car, get thrown in jail. She's going to be distracted at work. She's going to be showing up late. You don't want that. For candidates you're considering in leadership positions, leadership would be listing specialist, buyer specialist, or team leader. Pay close attention to their children's behavior. Doing so will give you a lot of insight into the candidate's leadership abilities. Okay. By the way, nobody does this. I mean, it's so unusual, and yet by going to this level, meeting with the family, you're going to virtually guarantee yourself making the right decision. Okay. You're going to move from 35% chance of making a great hire to 90% plus. Okay. All right. Once you've gone through the dinner, and you're going to decide, you're going to make an informed, intelligent decision. That's the final step right here, step 12, about which candidate is the best fit for the job. We're going to recommend that you call that candidate first with the offer, because you took 2 to dinner. Make the offer first. By the way, why would we do that?
Make it before dinner?
No, after dinner, you've decided which one you want. So the next day, because you're sleeping on it, you've decided who you're going to make the offer to. And we're recommending you call them first with the offer as opposed to the other candidate that you're turning down. The whole rationale there is, let's say they're both great candidates.
They'll talk you into it.
Well, the first one, what if they turn you down?
Oh,
See, what if they got an offer that came in this morning and it's really their dream job?
they turn around on you.
Yeah, so that's right. So you don't want to close that door, potentially, until you know that you have someone locked into the position. Okay? So here's the dialogue to offer the position. Pleased to say I'd love for you to be part of our team and would like to formally offer you the position. Let's get together tomorrow and tie up some loose ends, pick a start date. Okay? Once you have that nailed down, then you can release the other candidate, and there's some nice dialogue for that. Okay? And what we say is, if the candidate says, well, why wasn't I your first choice? We would counsel you to be very honest with them. Okay? You've got this skill set, this strength, this track record was very attractive. However, this was a red flag to us. And just share it with them. Okay, so now what? You've made the hire. Congratulations. You got through a brutal process if you've done it. All 12 interdependent steps, okay? Now what? Well, once you've made the hire, your job is not done. We touched on this a little bit last week, but we're going to recommend that you really invest into your team. I mean, these are the people ultimately they're going to make you wealthy, so it's worth it. It's kind of like getting that phone call in the middle of the night to go fix the toilet that's running at one of your rent houses, okay? Nobody wants to do it, but these people are buying you a house. You know, so you got to sometimes do what it takes. So here's the investment. You hire talent, which that's the process. Now you consult them. You give them direction for the position. That's what consulting does, is provide direction so that they can do the right things. They can be involved in effective behaviors, only things that make a difference. You train them then how to do those things in the right way, the right things in the right way, so they're doing the right things, but they're doing them in an efficient manner, okay? On task and moving forward at the appropriate pace. So once they've been consulted and trained, they are effective and efficient. That means they can take highly productive action. And to ensure that that action in the position is sustained over time, they must be held accountable. And we recommend accountability on a weekly basis. So if you're the team leader, and for your first 6 hires you will be the team leader, that's going to require an investment on a weekly basis. And it doesn't have to be long. It could be 10 or 15 minutes per position, just reviewing the performance standards for the position and the actual activities for the previous week. Okay? A highly functional staff requires a complete staff development program, and you owe the team members you hire an opportunity to succeed in their positions. When we say complete development program, we're talking about consulting, training, and accountability, CTA. Okay? This just goes a little bit deeper on the rationale for doing that development program and creating leaders. If you'll do that, you'll create leaders, not just people who have to be told everything to do, but they'll take ownership of the position. Page 109, last page. Can't teach a kid to ride a bike at a seminar. If you're going to build a highly productive team, you're going to have to get into the game. You're going to have to start the process. And we would recommend you start with, actually, I would recommend you start before step 1 and identify your own mission, vision, values, and beliefs. Okay? Why am I doing this? Why did I choose this career? What difference do I hope to make? What are the standards that I live by in my business? What are the business rules that I follow? Get all that outlined, and then you have a personal vision that you can recruit to and make sure that these candidates identify with and mesh well with who you are. All right, you got the short version. Questions, objections, ahas?
Yeah, I guess my question would be, I would probably want to hire someone that I know or have known before.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just say that I didn't have someone for that position. Then how do you hire someone? You put it on the internet somewhere?
How do you find them?
Yes.
Yeah. Go back to that very first page we looked at, I think page 50, where it talks about all the sources of finding people.
You said Craigslist.
Yeah.
Like Monster.com.
Absolutely. Think about the ancillary businesses that you interact with. Think about other real estate companies, other agents you've worked with. You walk in to drop off a contract and they've got a fabulous front desk receptionist. Well, maybe she's looking for a better opportunity. So just review all of those sources. But what we counsel is go on a proactive hunt. Start turning rocks over to find these kind of people. Another one of our core beliefs, talent usually is not unemployed and looking for a job.
Right.
They're probably gainfully employed somewhere, perhaps very happy in their current role. And frankly, that's the kind of people that you want. Do you maintain a robust database of past clients and customers?
I do. I don't say, customer or whatever. I just have their name saved in my phone or on my computer or whatever. I know who they are.
There's a very subtle way of promoting yourself and your success to your database while gaining their assistance in finding team members. And that's send out a postcard, for example, and say, hey, thank you for utilizing me for all your real estate services. My business has grown so much. I am in expansion mode right now. I am looking for an administrative assistant or whatever with these job duties and dispositions required. And I'd love to tap into your networks and see if there's anybody you'd recommend for this position. So it accomplishes two purposes at the same time.
Right. You're saying hi to them, and asking them for a good referral.
Yeah, and reminding them that you're successful at what you do. That's a good message that you want to reinforce with them every month, in my opinion.
Right.
By the way, do you know where to get this manual?
I saw it on the email.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was attached,
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.